Well, hey guys, you know, I had a thought come to me yesterday while I was at work. You see, we were talking around the old lunch table about things that had happened on job site. I was telling them about this one story, and I thought, I'm going to tell my people on YouTube the story, because it doesn't matter if you're in construction or not. I think you can appreciate this particular story. I'm going to change the names of some of these people. So here's the story. I have three main characters that are going to be in this story, and I'm going to call them Papa Bear, Mama Bear, and Baby Bear. Papa Bear and Mama Bear are actually married, and Baby Bear is their son, their oldest son. Now Papa Bear stands about 6'5". He's a pretty big guy. Baby Bear stands about 6'7". He's bigger than Dad. He's probably up in the, I don't know, the 230 range or something, I guess. One thing that both Papa Bear and Baby Bear have in common is they both have really short fuses. Just cranked up about the dumbest things. So Papa Bear and Baby Bear are working on this job, and I'm working there too. Now Mama Bear was hired on by Papa Bear to come and clean the job site every day, kind of wander around cleaning. Now Mama Bear is probably in her mid-50s when this is going on, as is Papa Bear, and Baby Bear is probably in his early 30s. Two other characters involved in this story are Mike and Tim, and I'm going to use their real names because they wouldn't care if I did so, and so I'm doing it. Now Mike and Tim are outside, and they're working on leveling some ground for slab prep. They're going to put down concrete, so these guys are out there leveling it out. Now they're both, I believe at this time, were either I think Mike was like a first or second year apprentice as a carpenter, and I think Tim might have been a little bit farther ahead of him. So they're all on the rakes and the shovels preparing for the concrete. They're raking away. And Tim reaches down in the dirt and pulls out one of these. Now, bonus points for anybody who knows what this is. You ready? Say it. That's right, it is a Hilti bit. And this Hilti bit is used to drill holes in concrete. And you put it in a rather large, oversized drill, like a big drill, nothing that you would use around the house. And you drill holes into concrete and set your rebar and stuff. I thought it was a bike, and I see the hand come out of the big wave because the guy's crouched down. It's a scooter. Made his day probably. So he picks up this Hilti bit, and now Baby Bear is working alongside with these guys, sort of overseeing the process. He says, "Oh look, Baby Bear, hey look, check this out, I found a Hilti bit." Now Baby Bear comes over. Baby Bear is not the kind of individual that wants to take the time to teach and mentor other people properly. His method is the method that he has picked up by templating his father's behavior. Baby Bear comes over. "Let me see that." He snatches it out of his hand, and he looks at it. He says, "You idiot, look at this!" And he holds the tip up to him. Now, the tip has a hardened piece of steel there that is what does the actual chipping through the concrete. And it's because of that tip that you're able to bore into the concrete. The rest of the drill just takes the dust and pulls it out of the hole. Well, when it has a full tip, it'll do its job, but if part of the tip breaks off, which it sometimes does when you hit steel or whatever, the bit is basically useless. So he holds it up to him, holds it up to his face, says, "Look at that! The tip's busted off. This is useless." A normal person would have just said, go throw it in the garbage or bury it with the concrete, whatever. No big deal. Now, he also could have done something like just dropped it on the ground or just tossed it off to the side to get it later. Baby Bear takes the bit in his hand. He winds up. He turns away from the guys, turns his back to them, winds up and throws the bit as hard as he can. Now, I don't know why. I wasn't there because I was around the corner, and I should also mention that this story comes to me from the guys that experienced it. And I was right around the corner, about 50 feet up around the building. Baby Bear just lets this thing go. It leaves his hand, and in slow motion, it travels through the air, parallel with the building, the new building that we have just made, headed for a pile of dirt and crap on the far side of the job. It continues to travel about 30 feet in the air. Around the 30-foot mark, Mama Bear steps out into the direct trajectory and flight path of the 3/4-inch Hilti bit, which is now traveling at a high rate of speed, not showing any signs of slowing up. She steps onto the dirt, and as she does it, the Hilti bit comes up and hits her broadside in the side of the head. And I'm talking, luckily, it hit her straight up and down. And the hard hat she was wearing probably saved her life, because it took most of the energy, transferred it into the hard hat. The hard hat shot off like a cork from a bottle of champagne. And she went down, poof, to the ground. Baby Bear, seeing his major screw-up, exclaimed, "Oh my gosh!" and ran with his gangly 6'7" frame to assist his now fallen mother. I believe Mama Bear laid there for a couple minutes, and then eventually he got her to her feet. And Mama Bear, I don't know if Mama Bear actually said anything to him like, "What were you thinking and why did you do that?" I don't think she did. I think it was more like, "Oh, I'm sorry, I ran into that big bit," or something like that. She came across to me as a very kind of timid woman. Her husband, "We don't have to talk like this," and her son, "Who also talk like this?" Just super overbearing individuals. But now, here's the thing. Papa Bear, I don't think Papa Bear ever found out about the incident. So, one of two things happened here, I believe. A, Mama Bear got clocked so hard in the head that her memory got totally wiped out for the last, 3 minutes previous. And she just thought she fell on the ground. "Oh, I must have slipped." And he said, "Yeah, Mom, you took a bit of a tumble there. You all right?" As he kicks dirt over the Hilti bit. Or she knew full well what Baby Bear did and didn't want to see Baby Bear get ripped to shreds by Papa Bear, and decided not to tell Papa Bear. But there are two other options. Option number 3, Baby Bear said to Mama Bear, "Oh, Mama, please don't tell Papa Bear. Please don't tell him. I can't take another whooping like he gave me." Or, number 4 option would be Mama Bear did tell Papa Bear, and Papa Bear said, "Well, what are you walking over there for anyways?" I don't know. Either way, whatever. The story is what it is, and it has gone on for years. I've been able to tell that at several lunch tables, and I enjoy telling it every time. just as I have enjoyed telling you that same story. It is a funny story, but in reality, she was literally 90 degrees away from getting killed, because if that thing had come and hit her in the side of the head with the force that he had thrown it, seriously, she would be dead. Totally dead. That thing would have stuck into her skull, no problem, because those things have some mass to them. Regardless, we all, when they came around the corner, like minutes later, and told me the story, I had to sit down and seriously focus on controlling my bladder, because the story was, and is, to me, one of the highlights of my construction career. Well, there you go, everybody. There's my story for today, and I have actually more stories about Papa Bear, Mama Bear, and Baby Bear, all at different times. So if you'd like to hear a couple more stories about the three bears, you just let me know in the comments below, and I've got a couple that I could pop out for you. Thanks for riding, everybody, and a big thank you to my new subscribers. I sure appreciate you guys coming along for the ride, and I look forward to your comments below, and I'll talk to you later. Hey, how do you like the second camera?